Let's go.
Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared, and we've got the boys together for a wonderful show. So let us bring in the gentlemen.
I am Phoenix!
Hello there, sir.
General Kenobi.
What's up? And you're muted, JJheat.
Kenobi.
You see, the effect is hit more when your mic is not muted as you make the joke.
Fair enough.
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
Okay, boys. So this is going to be a big week because we got a lot of topics we got to get through.
Yeah.
Let's start with something a little bit more like light before we get into the heavy stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about a trailer. So you guys want to talk about the Madam Web trailer first or the Rebel Moon trailer?
Let's
Madam
start
Web,
with
just
something.
get it out of the way.
I was gonna say Rebel Moon. I want to start with something positive.
Okay.
What's up,
The
Nick?
trailer was freaking dope.
Oh yes,
Hey, what's up,
I
Nick?
am.
How you doing?
Like I just gotta say, I am really jealous of fellow Comics League member Sammy Snyder Queen. She gets to see the movie in theaters.
Sammy, if you spoil it, I will never forgive you.
She's driving from all the way from where she lives to London. So I give props to her for
That
doing
is
that.
dedication.
That's gonna be at least
Lucky girl. She is a very lucky woman.
That is dedication. So I'm impressed. I am very
I mean, what do you
impressed.
expect from our Snyder Queen?
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to find a good clip here that I think will. Actually, I got it. Here we go. Here's Sammy to Netflix.
You have something I want. You may think you have some idea what you are in possession of, but you do not.
Hey,
There you go.
don't you have behind the scenes footage of Sammy bursting through those theater doors on the Rebel Moon showing?
I'm not gonna play
No,
that
no,
out
no.
right now. I'm not gonna play that
Okay.
right now. But hey, what's up, Brown Destroyer? How you doing, my brother? So, all right, yeah. So watching the trailer, it's like, so this one, as opposed to the last one, really built off the I'm putting together a team with very special abilities. I see. I'm putting in. I need warriors. I'm putting together an alliance. I'm doing the Justice League phrase.
What are they? Some sort of Suicide Squad?
More on that later. But yeah. So, and Nick, you were telling me on DMs that you could definitely tell where the Star Wars influence was for this.
Yeah, like for those who for the two people who weren't aware, none of them being really in the stream right now. Rebel Moon is based off of a failed pitch that Zach made to like Lucasfilm Disney. This was originally supposed to be a Star Wars movie, and if you watch the trailer with that kind of mindset, you can definitely see where, like, for example, the main character I think is clearly like a Force sensitive Jedi type character. It's like I don't know, it just seems like it's like a youngling that was kind of hidden, and obviously the people of the Empire just like the slots aren't that hard to fill.
Mhm.
Oh, and by the way, real quick, for all the there's something I want to address. Shout out to Jose Diaz 5978 who commented on the Under Two Capes episode today 66 times.
That
drives up my engagement. So keep doing it.
They were this close to greatness. Literally, I think it was like 2 comments away from it being nice.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, no, I know what the joke is, Nick. So anyway,
I thought the death of Jason Todd was dedication.
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
oh, you guys are no fun.
I just wanted to give Jose a shout out because that does really help the video get spread, and it's actually doing pretty well. So shout out to Jose. Anyway, so back to this. Actually, Brown Destroyer. What about the connection with Army of the Dead? So what Zach said is that in the animated series for Army, there's going to be a scene where they go into an alternate reality. and then end up with they're going to meet a character that's in Rebel Moon. Of course, Zach is creating a literal Snyderverse here. It's astounding, and I'm like, dude, after everything you went through, go nuts. I could care less.
Okay, this is not going to happen. By the way, what I'm about to say is not going to happen.
He crossed over DC.
Imagine like there's a post-credit scene for Rebel Moon, and a portal opens up, but it looks like a boom tube, and out steps Henry Cavill as Superman.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my god,
that would be actually really funny.
I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But still.
Yeah, it won't. But you know what? That would be pretty dope, and that would be a good middle finger to Warner Brothers.
Or like that's the post-credit scene, and like they enter a cave and they find some paintings for Darkseid.
Jared plays stuck at Warner Brothers. Play stuck at Warner Brothers.
Might as well.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, doubly because Zach also pitched this 3 times to Warner Brothers. So
yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
Suck it. So the other way that this could be a tie-in, and a few Snyder fans have been bringing this up on Twitter, that Knight character that Jimmy that Anthony Hopkins plays, he's very similar in build to like the robot zombies from Army of the Dead. You know, those ones that like have like the metal skull.
Yeah.
So there is that. But anyway, and the thing about Zach's movies, and the trailer basically reaffirmed this, is that visually stunning. There's so much happening. And how great was it to see Ray Fisher kicking ass?
Yeah.
Blood axe. And it was Teladia's favorite shot where he's leaping at that ship and he's got the spear. Actually, you know what? He's jumping and he's like, ah! I had a trident. How could I not do that?
Jared, if when I visit you and we go to the beach, we got to bring that trident and we got to try go fishing with that thing.
That's the plan. But in terms of what's next, oh yeah. So the other thing is that so I'm gonna go around real quick and talk about your guys' opinions on the trailer. I'll actually start with Teladia on this one. So what have you got, brother?
So, sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
Your opinion on the Rebel Moon trailer?
Oh, I loved it. I was just like, every shot was done to a very good degree, and I think Zach's a genius, especially bringing in Ray Fisher, making him the mega star of the film, in my opinion. So,
yeah. I think when Ray Fisher did like his rant against like Joss Whedon and like the claims of racism, I really think that hurt his career a little bit. So good on Zach for sticking by his bro.
Yeah, and watch if he's a part of if he's one of the main characters in a mega franchise, Warner Brothers is going to have some issues. What about you, JJheat?
As for me, I actually thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Says the guy who was in the background with like the Rock doing it. By the way, someone actually commented that they thought you were really funny, JJheat.
Oh, well, I do ain't.
Yeah. How about you, Nick?
I'm not gonna say that joke. I had a good one, but I'm not gonna say it.
Thank you.
Say it.
How about you, Nick?
I like, when is the movie supposed to come out again?
December 22nd.
Yeah.
I cannot freaking wait. That is going to be a great Boxing Day present. And yeah, I am so freaking hyped for this. And if it comes on Blu-ray, I'm buying on Blu-ray.
Oh, it's definitely gonna come on Blu-ray. I'm gonna buy all the editions. You know, Sammy is gonna have like every steel book of this movie possible.
And I've already made plans every year to watch Rebel Moon on release. So like,
I'm gonna have it on. I'm gonna have it on loop.
Anniversary.
Gotta drive those Netflix numbers up.
Mm-hmm. Anniversary. I mean, so like,
Brown says, yeah, exactly. I think Zach grew up reading lots of R-rated fantasy comics. Rebel Moon is inspired from that, and not just popular movies. Yeah, 100%. Brown says, I wonder if Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck would play important roles in Rebel. That would be hilarious if he gets the Justice League cast minus Ezra and Amber and puts them as like the Justice League of Rebel Moon as a big FU to Warner Brothers.
I can see Gal and I can see Ben, particularly Gal because she's with Netflix, and same with Ben.
I could see Henry as well. What are you talking about?
The only thing I'm worried about
not Henry. Not after what happened.
not with Henry with the whole Witcher situation. So it's like
But
that's
he's
what I'm
working
saying.
with Zach. He's
I
not working with those writers.
Yeah, I think Henry's problem was with the Witcher writers, not necessarily Netflix. Plus, it's Zach. Like if Zach
Yeah.
called him up,
Exactly. It's like when everyone's asking the question, would the cast really come back for if they did Justice League Part 2? It's Zack Snyder.
I can
like if
just
Zack
imagine.
Snyder called
Go on.
up Henry and said, "Hey, I got this really cool part. Would you like to do it?" It's like, yes. I haven't even told you about it. Yes. Like, come on. We all know.
What were you saying,
I
Teladia?
I can just imagine what Gal Gadot's character would be and Ben's.
It's basically a Wonder Woman, and then if Henry Cavill's in the movie too, they're going to be a married couple. Hey, Tavia, we're talking about the Rebel Moon trailer. Who is making the Warhammer movie? That's Amazon, I thought.
And Henry. Amazon and Henry.
Yeah, I think everyone's problem was with the writers. Exactly.
But I feel though, like what Zach would do for those actors would be very epic stuff. I can just see, Gal and Henry doing the, being a part of Ray Fisher's crew.
Mhm.
You know that the face
Again, they're all a Justice League.
Yeah, I can see that, and Ben being like the rogue character, like that. What's that guy? The guy with the hoodie, like the hunt.
Charlie Hunnam, who looks an awful lot like Green Arrow.
Yeah, him. I can just see.
I
Ben
mean,
as
I
that.
think Charlie's there to check for pulses.
Mhm.
So.
Oh yeah, exactly. No pulse. Exactly. There you go.
Oh God.
Well, considering Halo was a bust, I don't know how to feel about Warhammer being made by different people. Tavia, and guess what? Guess who's heavily involved with Warhammer? Henry Cavill. Are you guys excited about the Warhammer movie? I am. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I mean,
I know Max is too.
I'm there for Henry, but like I'm not like the biggest Warhammer person. But if Henry's involved, like frick, fine.
I'll check it out.
I'll check it out. I'll obviously check it out. I'll give it a chance, right?
By the way, you need a PhD in order to understand all the lore for Warhammer. So I'm gonna be very.
It's not that you need a PhD. You
Let me
just need a
finish.
lot of time.
I'm gonna be very. I'm gonna be very interested to see how he because when you're making a show, and I always say this, you have to approach it with the normies in mind, and I'm gonna be very interested to see how he breaks down the terabytes of lore for it. I'm sure, hoping he gets the right people who love Warhammer's lore. He will.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously we know Henry Cavill's doing Warhammer, right? How much of a back lore is there? So I just for curiosity.
Oh my friend.
Oh, Nick, you want to answer this one? Max Priestley is
encyclopedias upon encyclopedias upon encyclopedias, libraries upon libraries of lore.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
You thought DC has a lot of lore? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
oh
my God!
This is
so
crazy.
much.
God. There's so many different factions. It's just oh my
and they keep adding to it. So I'm really interested to see what they do with that. But anyway, the point is the Rebel Moon trailer looks awesome, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be the movie this year, like the highlight movie of 2023.
And sorry, James Wan, you might think Aquaman is going to save the DC.
Yeah, nice try.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still somewhat interested in Aquaman. I know it's been having bad screenings, but just going off of the trailer, it looks fine.
The last one had bad screenings too. Just giving you an advance, and that one made $1 billion. So
yeah, so just going off of the trailers, which is what I base off of, the film looks fine. Like I still might go see it.
Plus, here's what we're not considering. Remember, everyone was talking about how great the test screenings for The Flash were. We all know how that turned out. So it could be it's always the opposite of the test screenings.
Didn't like Justice League have like great test screenings too?
The Snyder one actually had standing ovation. That was the one time it was correct.
I thought that was BVS was the one that had the standing ovation.
Okay, the BVS had the standing ovation, and they still screwed up that movie. But anyway, and by the way, also there's the new Space Marine game, which looks really good, but it's just based on the movie. The guy who played Tarzan could be a blonde Aquaman for the future. Oh, you mean Skarsgård? I could see him playing Aquaman.
Actually, I want Skarsgård to play the next Thor.
Nah. There's no reason to replace Hemsworth.
Okay. I have a question for you. So you know how there's two Skarsgård brothers? There's the Northman, and then there's It. What would you cast him in as like a DC or Marvel project? I'm curious.
Honestly, I would cast Skarsgård as the Northman Skarsgård as Aquaman. I think he'd do a good job.
And what about the It one, who was also in John Wick? I
don't know who that is.
You haven't seen John Wick 4 yet.
No, I haven't. So
He's
really help me out
he's
there.
clueless. So
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You
I
on
really
culture's
appreciate
blind.
that. I've seen all the other movies. It's just that I never got a chance. Any opinions on Sentry being in the Thunderbolts movie? You know, it's kind of funny. I think it was Nicotina that posted on Twitter. Which Superman are you more excited for, Sentry or Superman Legacy? Honestly, I'm more excited for Sentry. So I'm just gonna get.
Sentry's getting a movie?
No, he's gonna be in the Thunderbolts movie.
He's gonna be.
I'm about to say.
Sentry is basically we have Superman at home.
Yeah, kind of. But I'm just saying it says a lot when people are more hyped for Sentry than actual Superman. It's astounding. But anyway, moving on. Let's is that all we have to say about the Rebel Moon trailer? I think so. So you guys want to talk about a gaming topic, or actually, you know what? Let's talk about some more good news.
Transition.
Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, let me go ahead and It was confirmed today that the Wonder Woman game is not being turned into a live service game. Thank
God.
Thank All Father.
So you know what? That deserves a Wonder Woman clip.
Oh, he just made a cameo.
Yes. Yes.
It was confirmed by Warner Brothers themselves, by the way, guys. They came out and they.
I love how
like
Warner Brothers said all our games going forward are going to be live service. Oh wait, Wonder Woman isn't live service.
Well, remember, I think they meant going forward from what we have we announced before. In other words, after Suicide Squad and all that
they're
stuff.
gonna
After these games come
backtrack
out
so badly, like they're gonna backtrack.
But yeah, I think they're gonna backtrack because you saw the amount of like backlash they got to that.
They had to delay the game a year because the backlash is so bad to remove a lot of the microtransaction stuff.
Brown Destroyer asked, did you guys see how John Campea had a meltdown over the Marvels movie criticism? He's such a Disney shill. That's just John Campea. He's a studio.
Yeah.
He's loyal to the studios and no one else. That's it.
Yeah. He's addicted to the access.
Wasn't he the guy? I'm surprised he still has access because didn't he leak photos of the 3 Spider-Man on set and put his watermark on the picture?
Pretty much.
Oh my God! Did he really do that?
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact,
he did.
He did. Nick, he put his watermark on the picture. It's the same. It's like you rob a bank and then write on the wall, "Jared did this."
Or the Riddler leaving.
Jared, why'd you do that, bro?
I don't know. I needed the cash. Buying Hot Toys is expensive, dude.
By the way, are there going to be any Rebel Moon Hot Toys?
There probably are. I've seen the photos for the Rebel Moon action figures, and those are going on my shelf. Tavia says,
Jared will be like, I will buy them.
I will buy them. Yes, exactly. Tavia, that's a good one. Tavia goes, I hope Wonder Woman doesn't turn to live service. It's not. When Suicide Squad doesn't do well. Who said Suicide Squad's not going to do well? We'll talk about that when we get to that topic. But trust me, we're going to talk about that game. But what do you want to say, Teladia?
But back to Wonder Woman, though, like the thing is, right? IGN made an article and they asked Warner Brothers for a statement. Warner Brothers came out and make a statement that clearly stated that, look, with this game isn't going to have live service elements in the game.
It says it's
So
not
in
being reworked into a live service game.
So that is a big bonus, guys. It's going to be a single player focused story driven game. That's a big thing. And honestly,
you just gave that game so much of a better shot of doing well.
you just literally WB, you've just literally given hope that that game could be a game of the year.
Don't give me hope.
contender.
I need that clip of Hawkeye from Endgame going, "Don't give me hope."
No, but you
Jared,
know
okay,
what?
this is really weird. As soon as you're saying "Don't give me hope," I was literally scrolling through Twitter on my phone, and that meme just literally popped up. on my phone. Like, what the frick? What in the cosmic frick? Like, literally, I'm scrolling through my phone, like my notifications, and literally that meme popped up exactly as you're saying it. Like, what the frick?
Wow.
No, but what I was going to say, Jared, is that like we don't know when Wonder Woman will be released, right? If anything, it could be 2020, end of 2024, maybe 2025 at the very least, right?
Well, at the very least, they just upped their pre-orders. I guarantee you. And
Yep,
people are
they've
gonna
upped their they've upped their pre-orders, and you know I'm going to be pre-ordering that.
And if there's a
I-
collector's edition with the statue, it's gonna go right there. It's gonna go right
oh
there.
no! It needs to go next to Superman.
Well,
That's what you need to-
yeah, it's just I need a Superman statue because I already have the Wonder Woman and the Superman hot toy holding hands.
Well, I mean,
Okay, this is starting to become a problem.
It's not.
what
Jared,
is the problem?
we need to
my
have
hot
it in-
toys. I could do whatever the
Jared-
hell I want with them.
We need to have an intervention. It's clearly you're addicted to plastic crack.
Okay, you two are now at the bottom of the totem pole, gentlemen.
It's not a problem.
Exactly. See,
Well, he
this
can
is why
stop whenever he
Teladia's
wants, everybody.
this is why Teladia's on my right side. Well, on my right
Well,
side of the stream.
I mean, we all know Teladia is a Comics League show. We all know that.
Yes, exactly. Wendy's on my cosplay next, but first, Nick's must get buff. Hey,
Oh, yes,
motivation.
Nix, I believe you. You will rock that Wonder Woman cosplay. I cannot wait to see it.
Hey guys, recently it was mentioned that Warner Brothers sent their bots on Twitter as anti-Snyder people. That's what. That's
Wait,
why.
haven't they
Snyder
been
gets
doing
Snyder.
that since Sarnoff's time?
Yes. So
Yes.
I guess we should talk about that. In the biggest WTF Warner Brothers, it was confirmed that Warner Brothers created fake accounts to argue with critics of their films, and then all of us were like,
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
I mean,
Thank you, Jay.
the ironic part of it all is they did this, and then they had the gall to call us bots. Snyder bot 001.
I love how that became a badge of honor where people changed their like Twitter bio to include like bot designation because of that. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. I love that. But but back to the Wonder Woman game. I think now it has a significantly larger chance of succeeding. Like significantly. Hey, what's up, Britt? How you doing? The Wonder Woman game will probably release with Paradise Lost. Yeah, that would be a good time. If they can get it done by then, that would be a fantastic time to release it. So it's in that Wonder Woman hype.
And what if how would you feel if they announced like, oh yeah, Superman shows up in this game, like he's actually a side character, and then it leaks that the ending
he's a romance option.
Yeah.
And by the way, Britt, if you want a link, let me know. Not a good Tevia. How is that not a good idea? How is that
Jared,
not a good idea?
If they actually do that, you're gonna be pre-ordering 5 copies of that game.
I'm gonna be pre-ordering copies for all of us if that happens, so we can support this game.
Jared, you know the one thing I'll say about the Wonder Woman game, which makes me happy about this, is the fact that the game will probably have the Gal Gadot's suit.
Most likely will. 100% will.
That makes me happy.
I anticipate New 52, the full body New 52, the golden armor from Kingdom Come, and
JLU cell shaded.
Yes, I'd say that. I would rather have the Wonder Woman game be ready and not rush it. No, but Tevia, what I said was, if it's ready at the same time as the movie's coming out, or actually the show, release it at the same time as the show. I never said rush it. I said if it's ready when the show is coming out, release it with the show. So who would you cast as Wonder Woman the Gunverse? We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, I just think that we just need to wait for the Game Award. I would say the best opportunity for
there's gonna be some drops.
I
there's gonna be
hope
some-
there is. I
Did
hope
that-
there is.
that would be the best place to see the Wonder Woman game. If anything, just gameplay or story trailer or something like they did with Suicide Squad. I think that's the best place
Hey,
to be.
Have they announced who's voicing Diana in the new
No,
game?
I don't think so.
How would
Nope.
you feel if in the Game Awards?
Jennifer Hale.
No. Just let me cook. So, how would you feel as if they did the Game Awards? They showed the trailer, and then out walked Gal Gadot, and it's revealed that Gal Gadot is voicing Diana.
That would be great. I would
In the
so
Wonder
love
Woman
that. In which case, I know another reason to only use DCEU skins. But okay, Wonder Woman's weird. You mean the one where they took away her powers and turned her into a movie star because that was supposed to be female empowerment?
Oh, the 70s. Oh, like it was such female empowering. She owned a hair salon. Everybody, she owned a hair salon. Isn't that?
She owned a hair salon. Did taxes.
That's empowering to women because she owned a hair salon.
Yeah, she did taxes and all that.
She knew kung fu. She knew kung fu in the 70s.
Can we get the biker outfit from the 90s? I would love that. Yeah,
every time
Wonder Woman. Yeah, here's the thing. Every Wonder Woman appearance in a game has had that skin.
But there's one skin we don't want.
What?
There's one particular skin, the granny pants one.
All right, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Teladia knows this.
We need the Camu suit with the pants.
Wait, Nick, Britt and I were recording Super Wonder Legacy. Out of nowhere, she says something that amounts to granny pants, and then I start laughing out loud, unprompted. I did not tell her the story previously, and she's like, "What do you do?" She's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like, "It's completely unrelated, but that." So I told her the whole story. It was hilarious. And all right, so in terms of Wonder Woman, my anticipation for this game just shot up. And you know, if they don't do a collector's edition with a statue for this and Suicide Squad, which I think they're going to, because at least with Suicide Squad, and we'll talk about this in a second before we transition to another topic, they just announced an actual steel book for the game you can get with a pre-order. So I think what they're doing is they're gonna announce a collector's edition. That's what I'm waiting for, because the minute that happens, I'm scooping that up because I want that statue.
Mm-hmm.
Making Diana a super spy mission to call back to her brief career. Yep, that would work too. And isn't that is it? But Tevia says, I personally, he would want Susan Eisenberg, but we've always had her as Wonder Woman.
We need somebody different.
Get someone different.
I mean, let's be honest. Laura Bailey's probably going to be voicing her more likely.
Either her or Jennifer Hale would be no problem for me. I'd be like, okay, either one works.
Or Rosario Dawson.
Actually, no. Let's go. I don't know.
But all right. So in terms of let's hope the game isn't always online. I don't think so, because it's not a live service game.
It's not live service. Yeah.
What if they announce that Linda Carter is voicing Hippolyta?
That would be cool. That would actually be cool.
I could totally see that happening, because Hippolyta's probably going to be in like the beginning of the game. But having Linda Carter voice Hippolyta, because I could see Linda Carter doing that.
Laura and Jen are my faves. Okay, Nix, you are instantly more cool. There you go. So
another Laura Bailey fan. Nice.
Next topic, transition, please. You too at JJheat. So you guys will want to just go ahead and jump to our second to last gaming topic.
Sure.
Yeah.
It came out that the Knights of the Old Republic remake is not in active development, and immediately a portion of the fan base was like,
I'm actually a plop kind of relieved. Like they finally just did, took it out back and shot it, just because like this game has just been such a cluster frick. It's been a mess of development. And yeah, KOTOR remake would be nice. But they were kind of going down a really wrong path, and so I'm kind of happy. Like, and by the way, we're gonna get a remake eventually because this game is too iconic for them not to remake eventually.
I mean,
Let me put it this way: if Disney like gets desperate enough, they will do it.
Which
But I
those
mean,
times are coming
guys,
close, but we all know
Mhm.
that.
no, but guys, this is a rumor. It's not been confirmed yet.
Well, it's been
So-
confirmed by
no.
some pretty sources. Like I know Jason Schreier. Like here's the thing: I don't like Jason Schreier, but when he gives scoops, he's pretty well connected. So if he says something like this, I'm kind of inclined to believe it.
What actually what was indicated is that it's not an active development. It hasn't been canceled. It's just no one's working on it right now.
It's effectively canceled.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's basically when they do that, like they just do it until like everyone forgets about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's canceled. And by the time they announce that it's canceled, no one actually cares anymore. This is what the studios do nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And then Ted Savvy brings up a good point, especially how they handled KOTOR on the Switch and lied to us from the very beginning. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a little devil's advocate here. I've looked into the situation with the KOTOR 2 DLC. Apparently, when they announced it, they had every intention to do that. It's not like they meant to deceive you. Apparently, it's kind of like some third party issues. Like I guess Disney didn't like maybe like because it's third party content. It is fan mods, and there's always kind of like a legal issue with that. And apparently, they kind of ran into some roadblocks. I hear on the Disney end, some videos I watched. So apparently, like it's not that Saber wanted to, like they fully wanted to, but they ran into some issues, that were not necessarily of their control.
Okay, so that's good. Good to know.
I'm trying
at
to be
least.
fair.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why we keep you around, and
Among other things.
among other things. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I mean, there's not much we can really say about it. Only time will tell. I hope that they that they get their crap together. So, do you guys want to take a break from gaming and go to like our last trailer discussion or Superman? What do you want to talk about?
I'm fine with anything. What
We
do you guys
did
think?
mention the Marvels in the thumbnail, so we might as well.
All right. Surprising no one, the Marvels flopped worse. No, wait. Somehow it flopped worse than the Flash.
It's the biggest
Somehow.
piece of dog shit.
Which, let's be honest,
that should tell you something.
That's an achievement.
That is an achievement in and of itself. I wonder if it'll get a Razzie.
It will.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think
No.
I don't think the media is that against Marvel at this point. Like, sure they can criticize it, but they're not going to like openly mock it yet. And it's also like when you put it in the context of the first movie made $1 billion. It's like there should not be this big of a drop off between sequels. Like there, like it tells you a lot that like it went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. That tells you there's kind of something wrong with like the system, the franchise. Also, yes, I agree with Nix.
Nix is happy it failed. Thank you, Nix. But also, it asked a very interesting question. Is this how you guys think Captain Marvel 1 would have done if it had not had the armor of Infinity War and Endgame? If they had just released it?
Oh, not only that, but like the movie was structured in a way like, oh, you want to know how they got the Avengers name? Like you want to find out how Fury lost an eye. They did put key stuff in there. They made you believe you have to like, because back then it's like everyone had to watch it to get the whole story.
But do you think if it didn't have that armor, that Captain Marvel 1 would have performed about as well as the Marvels is?
I think if Captain Marvel was released in Phase 4, it probably would have been a 4 to
Black Adam numbers.
At 4 to 700 million at $1 million movie. Is my opinion. I probably would have done maybe Eternals numbers.
Okay,
That's fair.
I can see that. And
That's
by the
fair.
way, already from what I've seen of the Marvels, again, I haven't watched it. Eternals is way better as far as I'm concerned.
Lucky SOB.
Oh,
Lucky
you hear that they're in pre-production stages for Eternals 2 for some reason.
Allegedly.
Well, here's the thing: if they're setting up Galactus, which we talked about this last week, it would make sense if they try and make Galactus a Celestial, and they kind of have to with the way the Eternals one ended, they kind of have to do a sequel for that.
Pretty much. But I do go into more video now. My Marvels video, it's out. It'll probably go live or premiere either Sunday, either just before or just after my February 2024 solicitations coverage.
They'll
Hopefully,
share it out.
appreciate it. Hopefully, Teladia can co-host with me on the solicitation video. So stay tuned for those two videos. But my opinion on the movie is I knew it was going to be bad, but it was just more nonsense. The best I could say this is, and no fault to the actors, they made the best out of a bad situation.
Except for Brie Larson, LOL.
I'd argue the one who actually charted the bed was worse, but that's a separate conversation.
Also,
But
the
even-
post-credit scene just reeks of desperation.
Yeah, it
And-
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
apparently there's a mid-credit scene where like they're setting up Young Avengers or something. I don't know if I don't know.
What?
Yeah, apparently, according to Imam Vellani, there was supposed to be a scene that had all of the Young Avengers, and I'm like, you haven't. Okay, so Patriot hasn't gotten a suit or anything yet.
Also, they're including Kid Loki from like I'm so like okay. I have a rant that I can I
Go ahead.
hear?
Let him cook.
Go
Let
ahead.
him cook.
All right, dear media, please, for the love of God, stop trying to make Young Avengers happen. It's not gonna freaking happen. Like they were doing this in like the late 2010s, trying to like pitch Young Avengers, and like they keep trying to make this movie happen when there is zero demand for it. It is completely from the media side, and you guys are getting friggin' desperate. Where it's like, oh, it's gonna be Kid Loki. Like that guy is in the pruned universe. How are you gonna get him out of there? You know,
They'll find a BS way. And Tevia, Tevia, we know you love the Young Avengers, but what we're saying is that the general audience doesn't. That's who these studios care. That's who these studios care about. And Tevia, I get that you want a lot of these young superhero stuff to be adapted, but they're not marketable to a larger fan base.
Also, like Elijah Bradley was barely like he was like he was barely existed in Falcon Winter Soldier. Is Super Soldier, is it passed down? Like, is the Super Soldier serum passed down? Question. That's a question.
But wait, was he the son of the dude? I thought he was like an uncle or grandson.
Well, that's even worse.
But
because
still,
like Isaiah Bradley is a super soldier. We know that.
But Nick, even if, let's say, the soldier serum passed down, this came out, if this scene were in the movie, you wouldn't get. Where would he get his suit from? Show up in the suit? Is that what you're telling me? When we haven't seen them show up, and thank you, Tabby, was his grandson.
I mean, the suit is the least of our concerns, honestly.
No, but the point is that if you're going to introduce this idea, you have to set it up in a movie. That's what everyone's been telling me for like so long. All the MCU shills.
Like they set up U.S. Agent in Falcon Winter Soldier for Thunderbolts. Fine,
that's fine.
You know,
mm-hmm.
You know. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm actually kind of interested in Thunderbolts.
Me
I
too.
Give it a chance.
I'm gonna enjoy that. Thunderbolts and Cap 4 are what interests me so far.
Cap 4, I'm a little wary about, but I'll give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's odd. So Teladia, your thoughts on the Marvels flopping?
Well, I just think it's about time Marvel had another flop added to their name.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time, because at the end of the day, I'm not a big Marvel or what's it called, Captain Marvel. That's the best way to pronounce it. Fan. I'm not a fan of hers, and honestly, I just think that what they just need to focus on is like the Captain America film, the whatever else that actually makes sense. You know, the main core, popular characters. because these weren't popular at all, and it didn't make sense to have them out now to Marvels.
And again, Marvel was banking on characters that historically have never sold well. I mean, Captain Marvel herself had like 5 relaunches. Probably more than that, but I'm trying to be just. Tevia asks, do you guys believe Kang Dynasty is dead? If they're moving away from Kang, which that's what I hear, yeah. It'll
Yeah,
be
that's what I've heard.
reworked. It'll be either scrapped completely or reworked. Which
Yeah, I've been hearing
yeah.
conflicting reports like
Mhm.
like, oh, they're just gonna recast Kang, they're gonna do Doctor Doom. Like it's very kind of conflicting. I think they haven't made a decision yet. They're just kind of weighing their options. But yeah, I do think there's kind of some trouble behind the hood.
I think they're going to, and it's not an issue with the actor who plays Kang, according to what to like.
Oh, we got
hey, what's up, K-pop? How you doing? So okay, 6 relaunches. Okay, but my point still stands. She hasn't maintained a consistent series because she's unlikable. But anyway. Yeah, the thing is, it's more of an issue that even if they recast Kang, Kang is not a threat because he got beaten by Ant-Man.
And it's like so we've had 3 different Kang variants so far, and they've all died.
Yeah, exactly. And been completely destroyed. Eating a bagel? That sounds fun. Hell yeah.
You got some cream cheese on top of it?
Heck yeah. All right. So that's about all I think we can talk about this. The point is, it's just like it's not good for Marvel.
It's just beating a dead horse at this point.
So,
oh my god! Oh, by the way, can we end on Brown's comment?
Kang as what
I
is
think
that?
he's trying to do a pun.
I get it.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he's saying Kang as a concept is lame. Yeah, kind of. MCU has a problem with the villains. Yeah, and we can actually talk about this on an Under Two Capes episode. So, transition, please. All right, what's next, boys? We can talk about the Madam Web trailer, the Superman Legacy plot leaks, or Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Let's do Suicide Squad.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Suicide Squad out the way. I second that.
Okay,
right.
So the way we're going to do this. All right, so for context, the developers are up until the game's release, the developers are going to do like a weekly, essentially a vidoc series, talk about like the behind the scenes stuff of the game. Now, Nick has been a vocal critic of the game. Teladia and I have been more of a let's wait and see approach. So Nick, I'm going to start with you. So your thoughts on like the behind the scenes of Suicide Squad?
I watched about half of it.
Okay, that's fine.
And
that's about
I'm going to say I've seen enough. Like I've seen enough. I've seen gameplay of it. I've seen how it goes, and it just looks, no disrespect to the people who are psyched for it, but it looks hella generic to me. It just looks like standard issue shooter number 3. There's no real innovation on the gameplay mechanics. The story is okay. The characterizations look, I'm sorry, just everything just looks paint by numbers to me. If you guys like it, that's cool. I just, I'm going to share my stuff, but I don't want to take away from what you guys think. So
cool. Teladia, your thoughts?
Well, I watched the full thing. I did a reaction video on it. And honestly, I want to know more because before purchasing the deluxe edition of the game, because I feel like obviously we got a little bit of gameplay, but there's not much of the story we need to know. Like I need to know a bit more about the story. Like how does Brainiac invade the Justice League, for example? Like
yeah, because after all, remember this was just episode 1, and they said they're going to keep releasing them up until the release. So the game releases in February, so there's still tons of information.
And I hope you guys enjoy it.
To
and I hope
be
you guys enjoy
released.
the game.
Yeah, that still has to be released.
I mean, what I do know though that there is no loot boxes in the game, so that is so there's no loot boxes in Suicide Squad according to the FAQ that they have up on Suicide Squad website. But you need always online to play the game co-op,
Yeah. Well,
which
play
is
the
a
game.
little bit.
Wait. To play the game co-op or to play the game at all?
So you need to play the game at all. You need to play it online. You
All
need to
right,
have
that's a
online.
red flag. That is a red flag.
Yeah,
Be-
that's a red flag there. And furthermore, you need to have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold in order to play co-op with your friends.
Which, well, yeah, you always needed gold or PlayStation,
Yeah,
whatever the hell they have in
yeah.
order to play online. So that's not anything new. It's the online only thing where I'm like, well, that's kind of BS for people that don't have good internet connections. So that's just me.
But
And yes,
also,
Brainiac is the main bad guy for the game. But
I would
Yeah.
also bring up as well with the fact that this game takes place about 8 years after Arkham Knight. So obviously a really chunk of a time.
Mhm.
Um, but there was a lot of cool things that I did see in there in the behind the scenes stuff. Like for example, the Hall of Justice was pretty cool. To get to see that all the different rogue members, or even seeing Nightwing's asthma sticks and Poison Ivy's plant, Batman's grapple gun, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then furthermore, I think I think this is my opinion. I think that what will stand out for this game is just the story, nothing else. If I'm honest with you guys, that's my opinion. It's like I don't think anything Nick said, like the shooting is a bit generic. I agree with him to a certain degree on that because, like, yes, you're shooting, but everyone else is shooting at the same time. Like, Captain Boomerang has shotguns, and King Shark has a what's it called LMG or whatever it's called, a big gun, and
Mhm.
then you have Harley
A
Quinn.
big effing gun.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And by the way, Teladia, you properly identified a weapon. Good job, guys.
Yeah, and
It's a
and fur-
minigun, but I do see him use an LMG, so
yeah,
you're good. You're fine.
yeah, and then furthermore, it's like what's also a big concern to me as well is like what concerns me the most, I think, is when the game releases, how the fans will react, because like already fans, like half the fan base has already said, nope, not for me. I'm not buying it
Here's the
because of
thing:
the because
that game had better have a good launch.
it has to have a good launch and it has to have good content. The one thing that it has going for it is the post content and the battle pass, which is for 4 seasons. Marvel's Avengers never had that. That's the only thing that Suicide Squad got going for them that makes this game potentially
I,
to get
I
people
hear battle
invested.
passes, I cringe.
Well,
Mhm.
it's for over 4 seasons anyway. So I mean, WB are
And they
monetizing
confirmed it's just for the cosmetic
medics.
stuff.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah,
or not you believe them is another story, because trust me, we have our reasons to doubt. But
I
but assuming they are correct and that it's just for that, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm of the opinion that battle passes are the spawn of Satan, but that's just my
Mhm.
opinion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, by the end of the day, a live service game is a live service game. At the end of the day, and they're gonna monetize the lot out of it. They're gonna try
And
to
that's
make
the
it.
other thing. I detest live service games. I think they're just a cancer upon the industry.
They
I
are.
mean,
They are.
they shouldn't have made live service games. In my opinion, that's another thing I'll bring up. WB shouldn't have gone down this route
Nope.
for for the live service for Suicide Squad, which I think they should have done something completely different. Make it
Can you highlight
make
Brit, please?
Let Teladia speak first.
Okay.
another thing too is like like what they should have done is like what Arkham Knight was, which was a season pass, and that is it. That's the only monetization. Like you get skins, you'll get season pass for like DLC content. That's it. You don't need like battle pass for such and such and such. You don't need that. Just do what Arkham Knight did, and you're fine. You're set to go.
Brit says Superman being possessed is very tired. Yeah, the whole evil Superman thing is being
Yeah.
drawn out. Tevia, question: how do you think hack that character will factor into the story? The character hack. Well, they talked about it in a previous thing, so I'm not gonna get into that. Here's the game idea. Superman, while fighting, suddenly appears in the Injustice universe. He needs to fix the mess. That was the plot of Injustice 1.
That was the plus Injustice one.
Yeah.
Yes. But I want to hear JJheat's opinion though.
Yeah, go ahead, JJheat.
As for me, I'm optimistic for the game, but I've been burned before, and even more so, I'm just not a big fan of microtransactions in general. Like, if the game can stand out on its own, whether it be the story mode or the game mechanics, let the game stand on its own. At least that's what I think.
What character? Let me ask you guys this to steer this conversation in a more positive note. So it's confirmed that we're gonna get other characters to play as. What other characters do you guys want to see? Playable characters. For me, it's Deathstroke, because I think he works fantastically in this gameplay area.
They did name drop him in the little section I saw. So
yeah. So maybe. So Teladia, what's a character that you want to see as a playable character?
I wouldn't mind seeing Red Hood involved in this.
God dang it, you stole my choice.
I mean,
they actually could do that. That's a good point.
They could bring Red Hood into it. I would also like to see Katana.
Ooh.
This is Katana. She's got my back.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that. I would advise not being stabbed by your sword. It steals the souls of its enemies. I can't believe I memorized that.
If there's like unlock missions you have to do, we unlock Katana. Can the achievement be "This is Katana"? She's got my
gosh,
back.
Tevia, why would Superboy Connor Kent be playable in a Suicide Squad game?
He'd be good DLC.
No. It's a Suicide Squad game. No.
Not a Superman game or a Superboy game for that matter.
Yeah.
Brown Destroyer's got a good one.
Wildcat.
Was he in the Suicide Squad? I don't
No,
know.
but he's like a brawler, but like his fighting style would work well in this game.
But the thing is, it should be more like anti-hero to villain characters.
So these characters use
and
guns.
Tevia, no. We're not putting Kryptonians on the even half Kryptonians on the Suicide Squad team, because that defeats the purpose of the story, because then Superman could just solve the whole thing.
Okay, so all these characters use guns. So we need a character who is synonymous for the love of guns. Batman.
Well, you gotta remember,
Batman.
but you gotta remember, Warner Brothers will put in characters that have guns and that uses guns. Bloodshot, that's a good one.
I mean,
Bloodsport,
James Gunn is in charge of DC.
Bloodsport,
so...
You mean Bloodsport? You mean Bloodsport?
Wait, I thought Bloodsport was the guy. That's the guy that's in the Suicide Squad.
Same
That's
difference.
what I meant. Sorry, there's too many blood characters.
Wait, did Bloodsport debut before Deadshot or after?
I have no idea. And Tevia, I'm not even gonna. I'm not touching the Kryptonian discussion again. So, I meant Bloodsport. Yes, Bloodsport. Yes, from James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and that'd be the one character from Suicide Squad. Before you ask it, nope. Keep Peacemaker far away. I'm too tired of him being in everything DC.
Rick Flag.
Keep him away. Rick Flag's a good one. I could see that.
Well, they are gonna put Peacemaker in it, Jared. I'm sorry to say, but that's inevitable.
No, that's gonna happen.
What about? Okay, I got one for you.
Real quick,
Huntress.
hang on.
What about Huntress? She uses a crossbow.
Huntress, I could see.
Oh, I got a good one.
Ooh.
It's from the I can't pronounce his name.
El Diablo?
Yeah, the fire guy.
That could actually be really cool. His traversal is the flying. And Tevia says Livewire Killer Frost. That works. How about you, JJheat?
Okay, Peacemaker is definitely going to be a common one due to synergy with James Gunn. But you can play the clip all you want, but you can't silence the truth.
You do realize he can literally mute you. He can literally silence you if he wants.
Okay,
He can do
so
that too. Are
Can at
you
least
making
not
up
be
for
played-
lost time?
can at least not be played by John Cena.
It won't be John Cena anyway because John
It's gonna be
Cena's gonna
voiced
the
by
villain.
John
Weapon
Cena.
Master, that'd be interesting. You're on thin ice, Nick. All right. So, JJheat, give me a character and we can move on to another topic.
Okay, if I had to pick another character, well, Amanda Waller's already in the game, so that goes my choice.
Why would you play as Amanda Waller? What would be her thing?
Guns.
I guess, but
Lots of guns.
Yeah,
but she doesn't
Amanda
really
Waller's
have
more of a
anything.
schemer than a combatant, so it would be very hard to put her in game or make her
Voiced
play.
by JJheat because he voices a mean Amanda Waller in the New Direction verse.
I try, but God, I can't. Okay, Rick Flag. No, that's too obvious. God, make Brainiac playable. Screw it.
You can't make Brainiac playable. That's the thing. He's the
Yeah, you
villain.
can.
He's the villain of the story.
No, because you can make him the villain you unlock at the end of the
Oh.
game, and you still fight Brainiac. So you could actually.
Brandisher's got good
That
one.
is a good one.
Yes.
All right.
That is a good one.
I got two for you. Either Mr. Freeze or Two-Face.
Either of those. Perp.
Of course you.
Perp.
My
It's
God,
got to
I'm
be a
so-
Suicide Squad. Bronze Tiger, Brit. That is an
Ooh.
Also,
excellent one.
Nyx has the perfect idea.
Yes, but why not have the? That's my theory. That at the end of the game, you're going to be able to play as the Justice League. Tevia, why would Tim Drake Robin be playable in a Suicide Squad game? I already said villains or anti-heroes.
Pep, yeah, we'll let you dream.
Let
We'll
baby
you-
hands dream. Yeah,
Oh,
you can dream. They probably won't be pleasant dreams because your dreams make no sense. But
unlockable character is the Arkham Knight.
Oh, wait, isn't he Red Hood though? Just thinking
no,
about it.
but even if they do Red Hood, make him a skin.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Jason Todd was the Arkham Knight in Arkham Knight, and
Yeah.
he uses guns. So having the plus it's a nice little kind of throwback to Batman Arkham Knight. So I think it would be,
And
it
even
would be a
that-
great addition.
And guess what was a playable skin in Arkham Knight for Red Hood?
Arkham Knight.
Yes. And
I kinda-
Grid.
Grid is like the rip-off version of Cyborg.
I wouldn't because I would avoid. Who's Mr. Bloom?
he's a villain. He's a villain from James Gordon's Batman run.
James. Oh, okay. Now,
All right. This is going to be a little
and
out
then
there. but-
one more, Nick, and then we'll transition to the last two topics.
Okay, so this is when they do their crossover with Mortal Kombat. Stryker, the character Stryker from Mortal Kombat, who's basically a cop and he uses guns, and that's the character you have as your Mortal Kombat crossover.
And Tevia, we're not touching Kryptonians. How many times do we have to say that?
Tevia, Gotham Girl's not a Kryptonian, but too overpowered for this thing. I'm not talking about super characters, Tevia. I'm sorry. Super family, the Super Sons, they're not, or like characters that have the powers similar to Kryptonians are off the table for this. Because if you're going to play as a Kryptonian, they might as well just allow you to play as the Justice League when you beat the game.
Or give us a Superman game.
Or give us a Superman game. That's the other thing. So.
Punchline, that's a good one.
Excellent choice. Excellent
Good one, Pep.
choice. That's a good one. So anyway, let's transition. Let's talk about so our last two topics are the Superman Legacy plot leak and the Madam Web trailer. What are you guys in the mood for?
Madam Web for me.
Yeah, Madam Web.
Yeah,
Let's
Madam
end.
Web.
I want to end on Superman.
Okay.
Transition.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. So the Madam Web trailer. So let me tell you this: and by Clown Hunter and Joker's Daughter are excellent choices. So I went into this trailer not knowing what the hell to anticipate. I walked out of it going, okay, I'm not like full on like hell yeah, but it doesn't look that bad.
Now,
it looks
I'm
aggressively meh. Like I'm not
It
saying
looks
I hate
meh,
it.
but from what the way it stands now, it looks meh. But let me put it this way: my opinion of it is higher than what it was before the trailer came out.
I guess you could say it's Madam Webbing time.
no. No.
No, I say yes. It's always blanking time. Yes, I say yes, Nick. You have my endorsement. It was definitely meh. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best trailer. My one problem with the trailer is that so the villain's Ezekiel, but why are they dressing him up like Spider-Man?
Because
Also-
I guess it's going to be a Spider-Verse movie or something along those lines.
Also, the fact like the girls become spider people, and the other thing is like this character is not Madam Web. Like there is no like this is a name only adaptation. Like if you look at all the other depiction of Madam Web, this is not Madam Web in any shape or form. This is just
What do you mean?
something.
Okay, a perfect example. I had to cut you off, Nick. A perfect example would be from Spider-Man the animated series. That is Madam Web. If you've actually, and I highly recommend that show. She's
This is the current comics, Madam Web. I'm gonna push back on that for right now. This is Madam Web in the comics.
Okay. I'll recant for now. Nick, go ahead.
But yeah, it's just also it's like they keep thinking, oh, if we have spider people, people care about it. Like
Then have Spider-Man.
exactly.
Easy fix there. Just have Spider-Man.
Like
you have two spider people you could choose from that you don't have to share with the MCU.
like hell, even if like I've heard they wanted Miles to be their live action Spider-Man. Even that route is better than like even also also in Nick's points out in the animated series he was voiced by Stanley's wife, Madam Web.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That was cool.
Yeah, nice little thing I wanted to point out. But like, I don't know. It's just like it's hard for me to care. Like, yeah, Dakota Johnson, you know, she's an attractive lady, and yeah, you know, but it's just the story itself is just not interesting.
I
like,
wonder
Morbius
if the story,
was more interesting to me.
I wonder if the story is going to deal with the shades of gray of being Madam Web.
Jared, I wish if this was my stream, I would permanently ban you.
It was low-hanging fruit. Can you blame me for bringing that up?
I do blame you.
Hey, don't you're just upset that I made that pun before you did.
You're god dang right.
See, there you go. But yeah, I'm like, okay. Like this, yeah. I need to see another trailer, like a different trailer, for me to like really like decide whether or not that this is going to be a hit or miss for me. I'm still going to go see it because my dad rightfully pointed this out. Here's the problem with running a comic book YouTube channel. I have to see all these movies and whether or not they're good or bad so I can review them for you people. So you guys are responsible for either my immense entertainment or intense pain. Enjoy it.
Decide.
Intense
Enjoy
pain.
it.
Jared, is
Intense
this what I have to look forward to when I start getting on your level?
Yes, be prepared. People are gonna make you watch Wheel of Time.
Oh dear
Oh,
God!
You're
It's
gonna
gonna
have to do
happen.
that.
So
It's gonna
just so you
happen.
know, if that's gonna happen, it's gonna be like some insanely high funding goal. Like, if someone wants to pay me $500, I'll watch
And watch you reach that in a day because people want to see the reaction.
Watch like one person literally just pay $5,000 because they want to see it.
Tevi says also apparently the Plaza Terminator store with Ezekiel trying to prevent Peter Parker from being born, which makes no. How does that make no sense though?
Because apparently there is a character that is Ben Parker, and I guess this is like set in the past. For even though it doesn't look like it's set in the
But
past.
Ben Parker's not Peter Parker's father though.
He's his uncle.
Well, it could be to prevent Spider-Man.
Well, if you've read some of the really messed up comics they did.
No,
like,
because in Trouble, what they did, it was Richard and May.
Oh,
Ben's brother, and they had a bit of a fling in those.
And then
subpar.
Britt says they're supposed to be setting up for Madam Web, Morbius, and Venom crossover for Spider-Man 4. It's Morbin time, baby. It's
I don't really
Morbin
see
time.
it for Spider-Man 4 because Spider-Man's still in the MCU, while all these characters are like MCU adjacent at best. Honestly, what they should do is just have like their own Spider-Man, whether it's Miles or they bring back Andrew Garfield. I mean, it's my headcanon that Andrew Garfield is a Spider-Man of this universe, but it remains to be seen.
I mean, it makes sense based upon the stuff I've seen from like in the trail and Morbius and Venom. It kind of points to Andrew being the Spider-Man. Let me put it this way, Nick. While it hasn't been confirmed, there is evidence to suggest that. So I'll tell you what, for the purpose of this show, let's say he is the Spider-Man. So we can just go ahead and just talk about this. And I would be more interested in a Garfield's. Yes, I would love Amazing Spider-Man
course.
3. Please make
I mean,
that.
I've told my dream Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie. I've like, can I briefly talk about it again?
Hang on, I want to bring this up, and we've talked about that in fact last week. So probably just not this week because
I'll just say one sentence.
But wait, but just hang on. So
Okay.
according to Tevia, here's a thought: why not make a Spider-Man 2099 movie? Okay, before Across the Spider-Verse, I would have said no. With Across the Spider-Verse, making Miguel more of a household name, I would say now would be a good time for that.
Also, same actor. It has to be the same actor.
Oh yes, of course. Well, yeah,
Like-
because Spider-Verse.
But
Yeah.
but you have to make it a compelling story. That's the most important
They
thing.
they could tell his origin. They could actually tell his origin and end it like relatively near his cameo at the end of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Oh my god, imagine if they did like the post-credit scene was basically just a live-action version Across the Spider-Verse. And they even did like a live-action version of like he goes to the 60s Spider-Man and recreates
That
the
would be
pointing
so
meme,
good.
but in live action.
That would be so good. I would love that. I would also okay, we're not highlighting that comment. And yeah, I mean, they could. Again, a Miguel movie is likely. But Brown, if they're all these movies are connected, so
He's
if
too young.
not only that, and plus we all know he's actually the kid from Cobra Kai in the Witness Protection Program. But back to Spider-Man, I think that see the thing is they have to have Oscar Isaac be him because they confirmed that the Andrew and Toby movies are part of the Spider-Verse, so they would have to do that. That's just the way. That's just the way it works, unfortunately, with this. But all right. But in terms of like what we've seen so far of Madam Web, again, it's just one trailer. It was meh, but I disagree that it looks CW quality. I think it's a tad above CW. It's a notch above CW.
I would say it's a notch above CW, but I'd also say it's like Final Destination meets Marvel.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's kind of what it is. A Gwenpool movie. That's more where the Deadpool franchise. I could see that
Deadpool
happening.
franchise, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, last topic. Let's do it. Transition. And JJheat, you're really slacking on those transitions. Superman Legacy plot leak. Britt, get ready to go on a rant for this one. So, this is a rumor from 4chan, and they're always known for having accurate information.
Well, 4chan does sometimes have some really good leaks. So, yeah.
So, to do this, I'm going to read you what was leaked.
Go on.
Okay. Here's the plot. Superman has been active for a couple of years and struggling to reconcile his human upbringing with his Kryptonian heritage. As Clark Kent, he works in the Daily Planet with Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Perry White. Superman intervenes in conflicts in the Middle East nation of Bialia, oh boy, which doesn't sit well with some of his fellow superheroes like Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl and Metamorpho. Lex Luthor is running for president and leading peace talks in Bialia while secretly trying to game the conflict in his favor and turn public opinion against Superman. Eve Tessmacher is his assistant and enforcer, but I thought Mercy Graves was supposed to be, but okay. Superman's actions.
They're doing Reeves Superman.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Superman's
North.
Superman's actions lead to a confrontation with the Authority, but they're not supposed to be in this movie, according to James Gunn. A metahuman strike force assembled by the United States government and formed by Jack Hawksmoor, the engineer, and the Doctor. But James Gunn apparently changed his mind again because the Authority. He said the Authority was not supposed to be in this.
Synergy.
He changed his. Can you tell this guy to stop changing his freaking mind?
Or just
Jeez.
get off Twitter.
Can Warner Brothers literally be like, hey James, so we talked with Apple and we got you this new phone. It is incapable of downloading Twitter. This is your new phone now.
Yeah, the engineer did get casted. Yeah, so the engineer part is true, but the thing about it, well, what I would do is I would actually sit James Gunn down and say, "You're not Zack Snyder. Stop trying to make yourself like Zack Snyder and get to work. Stop tweeting."
You're more like Dan Slott, but on the movie.
You're approaching Slott territory, and trust me,
He's
that's
one
a big
massive
Yeah.
block list away from being Dan Slott.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? But you know what's also rumored as well?
Mm.
Did we talk about the villain?
The villain's
the
Brainiac.
engineer.
Yeah,
So he's copying Man of Steel too.
he's copying Man of Steel too. Yeah.
Oh God. At least we're getting a Brainiac in a movie. I will say that because Brainiac has never gotten a movie. I mean, in a movie, in an actual movie,
In the big screen, basically.
in the big screen. I'm not talking about animated because obviously he's been in animated stuff. But it's just like the more I hear about this, and Britt and I actually talked about this on Legacy, the more I'm convinced this movie is not going to do that well because again, you're falling into the same trap that Superman Returns fell into, where you're focusing way too much on nostalgia. And here's the problem with nostalgia. Nowadays, it rarely works when coming from Hollywood studios. What do you guys think?
Almost as if they've been overly relying on it for over a decade. Who would
Like
have
the-
thought?
Like the fact that Lex's assistant is Eve Tessmacher, which was the character from the Reeves movies. That to me says so much about where he wants to go with this.
And he
It's
did
like-
say in like a Forbes video that Superman is his favorite movie.
And here's the thing, like I've said this so many times, and Jared knows what I'm about to say. It's like everyone says they want to go back to the Reeves movies. I like the Reeves movies. I love them. Reeves is my Superman. But here's the thing: we got our Reeves Superman movie. It was Superman Returns, and nobody watched it.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
You knew exactly where I was going.
Yep, exactly. Brown Destroyer says the Reeves copy won't work. I can bet on this. Yeah, it didn't. In fact, we did a video, and this plays into what we talked about in this week's Under Two Capes episode. Hint, hint. Please go check that out, where we talked about the Snyder influence on DC. And here's the thing: Snyder influence proved that that with Superman, he has to be the Reeves version won't work anymore. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Anyone telling you that is a liar or has fan blinders on that is overly nostalgic for that time period.
And that will just work for a very minute audience. Like you had a little bit of a generation shift with Superman Returns back in 06, but nowadays you would hardly get anyone to go. Like, so copying Superman 2 would, from a corporate standpoint, would be a fool's errand.
Tavi brings up a good point. Christopher Reeves isn't the be-all, end-all for everything. According to the Superman fanbase on Twitter, he is. In fact, when they were casting for Man of Steel, the Superman fan base wanted them to CGI replace the actor's face with Chris Reeves. That's how obsessed these people are.
They're crazy.
And by
Or
the
they're
way,
just out of touch hacks from a bygone era, but that's
true.
another topic.
Tavi brings up a good point. Superman and Lois proves you could do a great modern Superman. That is the most effective marriage of the Reeves Superman and the Snyder Superman so well. If we got that
It's a
as
healthy
the movie,
balance.
I would take that as a compromise.
Plus, as well,
like
It
Tyler
ta-
Hoechlin
wait,
Superman-
wait. Teladia was first. Go
plus,
ahead.
I was gonna say that Superman and Lois literally, when you see the modern Superman suit, he has no trunks, and it makes it look cool, right? If you bring the trunks back, people will think it's 1939. We're not in 1939, you know.
It's
We're in 2000.
1938 anymore.
Yeah, I love that joke. I wonder how many people actually got that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure a
sorry.
lot of people did.
Thanks for correcting me. It's not 1938 anymore. It's 2023. We don't need the trunks.
Brit says-
It's current year, didn't you know?
Here's the problem with this, and I hope they rewrite this. I like the trunks. Yeah, you and 4 people. So Brit brings up a good point. Here's the problem. So the Middle East plot needs to go seems very tone deaf, particularly in light. And this is we're not gonna touch on this from a political issue. We're just gonna say, particularly in light of what's going on in the world right now, this is not the right time to start touching on Middle East politics.
No.
And like even if it's a fictional even if it's a fictional like Middle Eastern
These are
country,
fictional characters.
you're what's that one country where Geoforce and Terra are from? What's the country called?
Markovia or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, why can't they do like a Markovia story? Like do like
Russia,
Eastern
Ukraine?
European?
You can't do that because that's
You
pretty
can't
much
do
what
that.
it is.
God dang it. Yeah, because Markovia, like, yeah.
How
I
about
get
not
it.
have Superman get involved in human conflicts? Because here's how much of a Superman fan I am.
Superman goes to Canada. He sells an oil fire in the Canadian Yukon and Alberta. There you go.
Here's an interesting thing. Do you know what Superman has said? I don't get involved with human conflicts because they have to be able to solve the stuff on their own. I can't do everything for them.
So what you're saying? So what Superman is saying is, "Oh, I'm not brave enough for politics."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gunn says that this isn't a setup for a shared universe, but it definitely seems like it is. Yeah, he says I would never use one movie to set up another movie, but that's the
That was a lie.
Wait,
what?
yes, he
The
said
lie
this.
detector says that was a lie.
Wait. Not only that, you're setting up a shared universe. It's premised on using other movies to set up other movies. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, and by the way, yes, according to Brit and I, Rebirth Superman was a flop in terms of sales. So again, that's the other occasion when they were lied way too much on nostalgia. And also, I don't understand why we need the Authority in this movie. Here's why, Tavia. James Gunn lied, and he's using this to set up the Authority movie. Because guess what's coming out after this movie? Authority.
Wait, quick question. Are we counting Superman? Are we counting
JJheat was
Superman?
first.
Thank you. Are we counting Superman Rebirth being a flop, Bendis run onward, or
Nope, from the very beginning.
Okay, if we're counting both runs, it peaked at around 50 to 55,000 units.
For Superman, that's a very bad numbers. For Superman, for the iconic character, for how big Superman is to DC Comics, to the comic book audience, I'm making sure to establish the audience I'm talking about here.
Mhm.
That is horrible for Superman.
I
will
do
give
want
you
to
that.
note that there have been reports that apparently Warner Brothers is told James Gunn to stack Superman Legacy with many characters as possible because they are setting themselves up for a sale, and having all those characters in Superman Legacy would be a way to say, hey, look what we have, look what we're setting up. So as much as we want to rag on James Gunn, and trust me, I'm in the front of the pack, I'm just trying to urge some caution.
Well, it's not only that. I get that. And that's
a fair
the other
point.
reason why I think this universe won't happen, because what'll happen. Here's the DCU. It's just Superman Legacy. He'll say, I changed my mind. We're going to do a bunch of solo movies. New 52. Brown Destroyer's my boy right here.
He knows what we're on
Super-
about.
Yeah, he sold way more than Rebirth Superman. Superman and Wonder Woman sold more than Rebirth Superman. So suck it.
That's kind of a highball, Jared, because even if you're factoring New 50, okay, for you nerds out there, for those who actually do collect and run algorithms, New 52 Superman was about 60 to 75,000. Superman and Wonder Woman, the power couple, volumes 1, 2, and I believe volume 3 as well, they maintained that 100,000 plus unit range. Volume 3 was in the low 90s, but that's still a high bar.
Well, my point in comparing those, JJheat, is that everything associated with Superman and the New 52 sold infinitesimally, yes, I know words, larger than Rebirth Superman. Rebirth Superman compared to New 52. No, it didn't crash and burn, Tavia. Geez, just because I had one story and you didn't enjoy that story didn't mean the whole run is a flop. Jeez, numbers speak for themselves.
Get out of your system, Jared.
Let's just move on. Let's just move on. It's okay.
But okay, moving on. The one thing I will say, I'm just gonna finish the statement. The entire New 52. Thank you, K-pop. I'm glad you're entertained. The entire New 52 Superman line sold infinitesimally more than the entire New 52 sold better than Rebirth. Yes, I'm going to make that statement right there. So anyway, and by the way, the Truth storyline sold more than Rebirth Superman. But anyway.
Okay, let's not go that far, Jared. Now you're starting to go a little bit overpowered.
Nah, but I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, JJheat. Just saying.
DCU, okay, DCYU, okay, you want to run numbers? All right.
The truth, no. JJheat, we're talking about the Truth storyline of Superman compared to Rebirth Superman. Very specific books. You can't. I'm just talking about those very specific books. But anyway, that's a discussion for another show. In fact, Britt and I discussed this, and guess what? The DCU era flopped, and I'm not disputing that.
No, it was god awful.
Okay, but so the point is, they're gonna have to rewrite because, and Brown's like, and I hate the Truth storyline. I did too. Particularly anything touched by Peter J. Tomasi. But anyway.
You are not going to let that go, are you?
No, I'm never going to let that go. But the thing about...
I mean, Peter did ruin Nightwing, so I'm on Jared's side.
Thank you! But anyway, they need to get rid of that Middle East conflict because that's going to be seen as very tone deaf right now. It would be one thing if pre-October they did this, but...
Too soon.
Really bad idea right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the chief thing. And this is assuming the plot leaks are correct. And second off, everyone's like, this is going to be the most comic accurate Superman. When has Superman ever gotten involved in the conflicts of man? Besides not counting Injustice.
He's never.
I mean, a few skirmishes here and there, like the being hired by the UN to stop Batman and Death in the Family.
Well, no. But JJheat, I'm talking about Superman being used to break up a Middle Eastern conflict.
Oh, okay.
Death in the Family.
Jared, fact is, Superman has been used in wars and conflicts like New Frontier. He was an agent of the government. Like there are plenty of versions where he has been. It's not what he usually does. That's not. But there are lots of versions that do support the argument that he does get involved in politics.
Either a Boy Scout or a government student, depending on the story.
Counter. He vocally avoided conflict. Mankind conflict in these stories that James Gunn has identified as inspiration for Superman.
I'll take your word for that because I haven't read those stories, but if you say they are, then I'll believe you.
Yeah, and again, it's all dependent on if you trust anything coming from James Gunn, which honestly, it's sad that we can't trust what's coming out of the mouth of the head of DC Studios.
Mm.
That says a lot.
And Tevia, it's a different context than Superman getting involved in a conflict, in a Middle East conflict to break it up. Saving it's a good comment. Saving refugees from a war is different than intervening and getting the two sides to stop fighting.
I mean, there's literally a comic in the Golden Age where Superman I think he grabbed like Hitler, Stalin, and whatever, and forced them to talk. I mean, that is
that wasn't that wasn't a DC comic published. That was published in a magazine. It was like, what would Superman do in World War II? And
and there are other comics where Superman did fight Nazis during the war, but to be fair, everything was propagandized then. So like that was during a period
Batman delivered guns to soldiers. So
yeah, and like I'm saying, everything in during World War II was propagandized. So it's not that as good of a point as I'm making it out to be.
Exactly. I am hoping these plot leaks are BS, but then again, the Flash movie leaks turn out to be true. Yeah, that's the other thing. So
here's the thing, Tevia. It'll probably end up being true. That's the thing. So just be aware of that. Knowing James Gunn, he'll probably go with those leaks.
That's probably the thing. If the Golden Age suit is worn by the gun in the Gunverse, I would be pissed. I'm trying to find it because before we went live, I saw this great design for the Superman suit. I think I actually saved it to my phone. Hang on. Oh yeah, here it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to text the picture to myself so I can put it on the screen. This was a concept for, I believe, the Legacy suit. Not official, I believe. It was just like something someone drew up. So here's an interesting design for the Superman suit. And first off, here's a very important part of it. Hang on, I'm trying to make it full screen. It doesn't hang on. For some reason, my computer is acting up. All right, so let me
technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Technical difficulties. Thank you. Thank you.
I had to.
Why won't the browser can't access my screen? Okay, I'm gonna hold my phone up to the screen. I will full screen my thing. For some reason, I can't share screen right now. Yeah, solo layout. All right, hang on. Here is the design.
I can rock with. I can rock with that.
Why am I getting Nick Cage vibes from that? That almost looks like Nick Cage's suit from Superman Lives.
Here's the best part about it. There's no trunks.
It does look like Nick Cage's suit. I will give you that, Nick.
Exit solo layout. All right, just want to make sure.
The only thing is, it doesn't have the sparkly stuff on it. If you know the lore of Superman Lives, you'll get the joke.
The only thing it's missing is the neck collar. That's the only thing it's missing.
I know. As much looks a little like the new 52. Look at Nick. She's having an aneurysm right now because it doesn't have. I'm sorry, Nick. The trunks look freaking stupid.
No.
Looks like the new 52 suit, and there's not a problem with that. There is no problem with that.
If that's the suit, Jared, I'll be happy, bunny.
Yeah, if that's the suit, I could take that as a compromise.
Yeah, I would take that as a compromise.
Because it's also textured, too. And I'm like, okay. And again, the belt. This is what I told people. You could have the belt to break up the color thing. Also, unlike it looks plastic. All right.
Well, also, here's this other thing you got to consider. This suit was shot with neutral lighting. It's not been color graded. There's not studio lighting on it. This suit is gonna look a frick ton better on screen because it's gonna have proper lighting. They're gonna color grade the heck out of it. So what we see, because remember when we saw the suit leaks for Sasha Kali's Supergirl suit on the Flash and it looked kind of terrible, but when you saw it on the screen, it actually looked pretty good. So
that's the thing.
I'm going to advise caution.
The only time that has ever turned out to be what we saw was what we got and it was good was the Blue Beetle. So
yeah, but so I will advise caution. If it turns out to be bad, then it turns out to be bad. But I'm not saying don't jump on that grenade just yet.
Yeah, Brown says, Jared, Google Superman suit design AI. Superman suit design AI. What is that? Okay, again, I can't share. The red trunks bring the whole suit together from a design standpoint. No, they don't. They make the whole suit look stupid.
From an aesthetic standpoint. Okay.
And it's
If
not
you wanna-
1938 anymore.
It's an old wrestling reference.
By the way,
No,
I'm gonna...
no, it's not a reference. It's a strongman reference. Like the circus strongmen, they wear the trunks. Like that's why Batman had the trunks as well. Like Batman didn't ditch the trunks until the 90s. Batman
by
had
the
the
way,
trunks up until the 80s.
I'm gonna get that drop from BVS with Perry going, it's not 1938 anymore. I need that.
I mean, I thought you had the entire
I have
every
the Snyder
film.
cut on here. Snyder cut, not BVS.
Oh, that's right. You have every frame of the Snyder cut uploaded onto your StreamYard.
So much of that
it's not my
movie was-
fault. Every part of that movie can be used in a stream.
So
Yes,
much of that movie was butchered with only 30 minutes worth of footage. Like seriously.
Same thing happened to Daredevil.
I'll give you that. The director's cut is better. I will give you that.
The director's
I
cut
like-
is actually watchable.
See, like I grew up with the theatrical cut, so I never knew what I was missing. I actually only saw the director's cut only like a year or so ago, and like now, like going back to the director's cut, you can definitely see what it was missing. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but yeah, the director's cut is better.
The funny part is all right. So what's kind of funny is when I first started watching Daredevil, I only watched the director's cut and didn't know there was a theatrical cut of the movie. So when I'm seeing the discourse about Daredevil, I'm wondering, this movie's great. What are these people talking about? And then later I watched the theatrical cut and I'm like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, like the whole like the at the very end where it's like, oh, words out on the Kingpin. You know, it's like, wait, you're kind of like, wait, where did that kind of happen? Because there's the whole subplot of trying to find out who the Kingpin is. My favorite part of the director's cut is there's literally a Who Shot Mr. Burns style moment where it's like, oh, you're reading it upside down. It's not this letters, it's those letters. It's literally Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Here we go. It's working now. Is this what you wanted me to Google? A Brown Destroyer. Here's from Deviant Art.
This is from it has like an Injustice feel to it.
It does.
See, again, even the Rebirth suit design had a belt but no trunks until He Who Must Not Be Named, because he ruined Superman comics for so long. It came around. His name starts with a B. And hey, Nick, why don't you answer Brown Destroyer's comment there?
All right, so the director's cut of Daredevil. All right, so the director's cut of Daredevil. They basically like dropped an entire subplot where a guy was on trial, played by Coolio, mind you, and see what a lot of the and then they dropped a lot of the information. Like there's more scenes with Karen Page, played by Ellen Pompeo of Grey's Anatomy before. Yeah, that's really, and like there's just a lot of expositionary stuff that they dropped. And it is actually, I do feel like the parallels between Daredevil and BVS are like very, very similar because
ironically played by Ben Affleck.
Yes, the irony is strong. Like it's a half an hour, literally cut out an entire subplot, and that subplot makes the movie make a heck of a lot more sense. And when you watch the theatrical cut, knowing of the original versions, it feels hollow and empty. So, like, the parallels between Daredevil and BVS are very strong, in my opinion.
That works 100%. Yeah. In other words, it's not like a Snyder cut to Whedon cut like scenario. It's more, yeah, exactly. It is more like the BVS to Ultimate Edition scenario. It's not as extreme.
Like BVS theatrical is not terrible. It's not like a earth-shatteringly bad movie, but it is an incomplete movie, and having the Ultimate Edition is the correct way to watch it. Same thing with Daredevil. Theatrical cut is not bad, but the director's cut is the preferred way to see it.
See, the thing about it is kind of see BVS. The Ultimate Edition does make the other one look unwatchable because I'm like, you hide the fact that there was a bomb in the wheelchair, so it makes Superman look like an idiot.
Well, to be
And
fair,
we-
the wheelchair
No,
did have lead
they
case.
hid the lead that was in the wheelchair. They hid that. They took out that entire explanation, and I'm like, you make Superman look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have taken that out personally. Just have a throwaway line saying that the wheelchair had a lead casing around
That
it.
was the VE throwaway line because it was someone saying, "Oh yeah, the wheelchair was lined with lead." That's all they had to do. What happens if the movie bombs? The DCU is definitely over then.
Well, let's just say the hierarchy of the DC universe will be permanently shifted.
Honestly, if this fails and they abandon the DCU, and I've said this before, just abandon the shared universe idea
This
for a little
concept.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not, like here's the thing. They're not going to stop making DCU films.
Absolutely not.
They're not. But they will. I do think abandoning the shared universe idea they might do because they have had successes. The Joker has been a success. The Batman, while making less than BVS, is still a decent enough success. Sorry, I had to throw in that jab.
Nice.
It is still. The thing is, even though it didn't make enough money, it's still a cultural success. Like it's like the
Mhm.
Batman is still like it's people are still talking about the Batman, and that's pretty important. Like the Batman struck a chord with people, and in a way that isn't reflected in the box office. So I think the Batman's going to stick around. Joker, I don't know how Joker 2 is going to do. I think that movie's going to bomb personally.
Because of the musical. But hey, if you want to do a shared universe, just finish up the Snyder movies and be done with it. But I would stick to just doing just like solo movies. Now, that's not to say you can't have sequels to those solo movies. Like, do what you did with the Nolan trilogy and do like a Batman thing here, a Superman. And by the way, this goes same for Marvel because I think the audience is being the best way to give the audience a break from all this homework is to just say these are not connected. You don't have to watch anything for these.
I mean,
just move on.
I'm gonna put something out there. I want you guys to thought on it. I think the best time for DC where it had the best chance was post Justice League when they were kind of trying to do this like these movies were loosely connected. They're allowed to do their own thing, and like I just think like having these movies kind of exist, and then if you want to cross them over, and then put them together, then sure. Like post like, oh yeah, by the way, these characters do exist in the same universe. We all have them so separate that when you put them together,
aggressively DC relaxing, and nothing from DC is bombed unless you are just helping these art houses sell their tax fraud narrative. Well, first off, Flash bombed, so something from DC bombed.
Shazam 2 was a
Blue
very
Beetle.
big
I think Shazam 2
Black Adam, which by the way is the highest grossing DC movie of the last year, underperformed at best.
Aquaman, mind you. Just wanna put that in there.
How crazy a world we live in where Aquaman is the highest grossing DC movie. What world do we live in?
I know. After all, it's kind of funny. And we said this on the Under Two Capes episode. After all the Aquaman jokes, he ends up being the only good DCU movie. But it's not their fault of the shared universe because they never got off the ground. It's Superman, however, that they can't get off the ground as a solo franchise. That is true. That is true. It's partly because you guys are out of your mind if you don't know how these movies budget, or you just don't know. Okay, well,
okay. Here's how it works. A movie needs to roughly make back double what they say they spent for it, because oftentimes movies either over or under report what they spent on the movie. So like if they say a movie costs 270, probably costs 300. And marketing is usually another 100 million on top of that. So let's say you had a movie that cost 270 make. That's actually 300 million. And then it costs, so that's 400 million. That's just the operating cost. And then, but you also have to consider, just because let's say you make 500 million, theaters take a cut. And if you're going international takes even more of a cut of that money. Sometimes you know studios get pennies on the dollar for what they see in some territories.
The point is, and this is not coming from us. This is coming from actual analysts of the movie industry. A movie has to make double its budget because not
2.5 actually.
2.5 essentially, because you have to make back the film budget, but you also have to make back the marketing budget as well.
And that's before you even start entering profit. Like that's just to break even.
That's just a break even, and it's not considered. These movies are considered failures if they don't if they don't like make a profit. And aggressive. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say right now. You can disagree with us, but I would really appreciate it if you would treat us with a little more respect. I really would appreciate that. Otherwise, I'm gonna ban you from the channel.
If you want to disagree with us, that is fine. We welcome a good, healthy discourse, but respect matters most of all. If you want, you're welcome to like say your points, and we might disagree with them, but respect matters most of all. So like, let's
tap dancing. Jeez. And it's I'm not making any of these movies. I don't know where this is coming from.
Jared, I'm going to continue on the explanation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say a movie costs 250 million, all things considered. I'm just trying to make this easy. So that film needs to make 500 million to break even. So like let's say let's say a Shazam 2 or Black Adam, so it needed 500 million just to reach the break even point. And so from there, that's profit. So even if let's say a film makes 600 million, okay, that's profitable, but that's considered a disappointment. Like for example, BVS made like what 850, 900 something million. Mm-hmm. It was profitable even to a large degree, but that was considered a disappointment because they wanted to make $1 billion. Now that's more just arbitrary number hitting, but that just goes to show like these movies are expected to hit certain targets, and if they don't meet the certain targets, even if they are otherwise successful, can be detrimental. See, the Batman was made for a lower budget for that, and it had a lower marketing budget. Plus, I imagine it probably had less of a monetary expectation. So the Batman, while only making 700 million, is considered a success.
Yeah, and by the way, Nick, explain to the fine people watching at home what we discovered about inflation and BVS.
So, if you plug BVS into an inflation calculator, with inflation, BVS has made $1 billion.
So
I love when I posted that on Twitter. People got so butthurt.
Well, too bad. And by the way, this is a message to Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich and Ann Sarnoff.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
There you go.
And the thing is, like, here's the thing. Just looking at like the box office receipts, DC, like, and you know exactly what I'm about to say, Jared. DC was on an upward trend with the movies, but ever since Aquaman, they've been on a downward trend. Ever since all the Snyder stuff is gone, like it's a very obvious monetary trend.
Not now. A team of lawyers are explaining Barbie and Avatar didn't make these entertainment.
I mean, that's like he's talking about Hollywood accounting. That's not a factor in this conversation. We're not talking about.
Yeah,
Hollywood
we're not
accounting
talking
here.
about that. We're just talking about from an outsider's perspective how these movies are doing.
Hollywood accounting is used to screw over actors and all those people who get like a percentage of the movie. We're talking about box office receipts as it relates to a film being deemed a success or failure. He's referring to Hollywood accounting, which yes, he's talking about that, but that's not a factor in this conversation.
Yeah, it's not. And Avengers excluding, yeah, that's true. No, the Avengers making $1 billion is what put this unrealistic expectation on Warner Brothers. It'd be one thing if they expected Justice League to make $1 billion, but they expected Batman versus Superman. The thing is, if they had bit the bullet and released the good version of BVS, it would have made. I'm convinced it would have made $1 billion.
I mean,
if the very, very, very limited theatrical version made over $800 million, the better version would definitely made $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the gimped version of BVS can still be otherwise successful, like it's like 2.5 hours is not that bad, especially for like a superhero movie. Now if you're approaching 3 hours, then you kind of have some problems. But 2.5 hours is really not that bad of a length for a superhero movie. Sorry. So like releasing BVS as is, honestly, because here's the thing. I think if they released BVS as is, you wouldn't have had that record drop off. I think that record drop off was because of like the confusing movie. If it was released as is, instead of seeing like a 60%, it might have been closer to like a 50 or 40 or 30% drop off, because the movie would have at least told a coherent story.
Every year, these folks are telling stories about imaginary friends making more money than they did the year before, while crying poor to tax breaks to aggressive. We're not talking about Hollywood accounting. I don't know how many different ways we can tell you that.
Aggressive. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it is not relevant to what we're talking about. Like I said, you are correct in what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you, but that's not what we're really talking about here. So, please try and, get on point.
And here's the thing. We're not smart enough to start talking about accounting and Hollywood stuff. So I'm just a political science student.
Yeah.
Major.
And
so
even in my undergrad, I was a psych major, and in my master's, I'm pursuing a master's in social work. So
it's not like I literally don't create comics. So
yeah, so that's all we're not talking about that right now. So
I'm not brave enough for politics. So
yeah. I don't follow the stuff. Yeah, I don't follow the accounting stuff either, because I like to avoid math whenever possible, because math is the subject that I hate the most.
Math is evil. Jared,
here's math. Here's math.
It fills out his clothes like lentils fill out a sandwich bag.
So Jared, I want you to cue up the Alita clip, okay?
Oh, okay.
So Jared's about to show you how I react when you put math in front of me. That was an accurate depiction.
There were many MCU fans wanting the DCU to fail because it was not like the MCU. It offended them, and that's a factor. Yes, that is true. But here's the funny part:
tribalism for sure.
Tribalism for sure, and because people are like, it's not a Marvel movie. Yeah, you're right. It's a DC movie. But what's kind of funny nowadays, and Nick and I've talked about this all the time, it's kind of funny how you see so many people on YouTube that say Marvel fan or MCU fan watches the Snyderverse, and how many times they're like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah. Ironic. Or like MCU fan watches Man of Steel for the first time, and like they actually like it. And I think I said this on the stream, but like I'm sorry, but if you look Man of Steel, if you put it in the context of today's movies, Man of Steel looks like a movie that's going to be coming out in 5 years.
Yeah, it looks remarkably and that's the thing about Snyder's movies. They have this like longevity that current MCU movies just don't have. And Britt says the expectations were not only set by Marvel, but also by Nolan's Batman films.
That's fair. That's
fair. I'll give you that.
Did you know they offered Christian Bale $50 million to come back as Batman for BVS? Like, imagine that alternate timeline where Nolan's Batman was a part of the DCU.
That would be hilarious.
How would you even make that work? Like,
yeah,
you would have to set it in between Night and Rises.
Here's the problem with that, though, Teladia.
But even that doesn't work because Batman retired from being Batman after Dark Knight.
After Dark Knight Rises.
That's and no.
In between Dark Knight and Rises, he wasn't Batman for like 10 years.
That and the fact if a Kryptonian invasion happened in Metropolis, no one talked about it in Rises.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's a pretty big thing to leave out, I think.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if they said, well, that thing in Metropolis happened, and that was like, that was really crazy. And then Brown says, many people on Twitter tend to be a fan of both universes, yet they're heavily biased towards Marvel, so there's that as well. Yeah, and then you also have to deal with the DC fans and Britt and I deal with these people all the time, that don't read the books and just post random panels that they find from books or pirate books, and then try and act like they're the authority. Like there are certain
authority.
Yes, there are certain character lore pages. I'm not
Or
going
the
to
elite.
again. I don't want to name names, but there are certain pages on this. I'll tell you guys off stream that annoy the ever-loving hell out of me because of their BS takes on Wonder Woman that are based on like heavily nostalgic views of the character. That I'm like, what? But
By the way,
Mhm.
Jared, I have a very simple way of getting Christian Bale's Batman into Batman v Superman. Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
so you know how at the end of Dark Knight Rises, he's basically vacationing with Catwoman.
Yeah.
So him and Catwoman are in like their whatever. All of a sudden, the Metropolis attack comes on the news, and Christian Bale sees it, and he knows he can't hide anymore. So he comes back to Metropolis, and
No, see, that works.
like basically he sees it, and he sees literally the destruction of the Wayne Tower, like it's on the screen.
I mean, he did arrive in a helicopter.
Also, Alfred gets killed in the attack.
Okay, that could work. And by the way,
I'm trying to give, because just imagine if he was in Metropolis trying to help people, and he was he calls Alfred, and he sees the like him land, like the Wayne Tower in Metropolis go down, and he's talking with Alfred as it happens, and that's what fuels his vengeance. And so he's fueled by hatred and vengeance. He wants to kill Superman for killing Alfred.
Now
it also works if he doesn't die and he has to he takes an attack on the Wayne name as an attack on him. So
Batman didn't die in Rises. We know that,
Death
No,
of
but
Alfred would be a little over the top. But
you don't have to kill Alfred. It's for him to be pissed off at Superman. Bale said he cried in the woods when he saw. Where have you heard this? When he saw the recast.
They offered him $50 million. Plus, Bale is notoriously like known for not doing sequels, so like they offered him $50 million and he turned it down.
Yeah, he said I would only come back if Nolan is the director. That's not happening. So
I mean, he's very gracious with Ben Affleck's portrayal. He's a good guy about it, but like, that's totally within Bale's character. Plus, like, yeah, I could see them offering him $50 million for like that is just such a crazy alternate timeline thing.
Now I know the
makes some
character.
good points here.
Huh. But I know this character was technically an amalgam, but I'm just gonna call him Grayson for the sake of simplicity.
Oh God!
If this alternate timeline did happen, Nick, would you say he would still try to be Batman, or would he just be more akin to Nightwing?
Well, okay, yeah, you're talking about the John Blake situation.
Okay, yeah.
So, if we're playing fan fiction territory here, I don't think that John Blake would become Batman. I think he probably would be Nightwing in this scenario, or Robin, or he might be Robin, but I don't, because like Batman is supposed to be dead or whatnot. So I think when he comes back to Gotham, John Blake is going to be Robin, and so they're going to team up or something. I don't know. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here, so
fair enough.
That works. I mean, I'll give you this. You figured out a way to make it connect to the Nolan movies, so that actually works really well. Mm-hmm. By the way, for our Under Two Capes episode, Teladia and I managed to managed to make the Nolan movies the prequel to the Snyder movies by using Flashpoint to link the two movies. So there you go.
Like, how crazy would it have been if at the end of The Flash, it was actually Christian Bale that walked out of the car?
That would be better than George Clooney. But too much nostalgia is the enemy of creativity, and thus it creates its own destruction. Yeah, and that's
Yes,
what Rebirth
ultimately.
and like the Gunverse is. It's too much nostalgia. That's what it is. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works here.
Yep, pretty much. So
That's been the problem with DC. So anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this baby up in a bow and set it under the Christmas tree. And that was my attempt at a pun, but okay. So all right. On that note, all right, okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And by they wanted Bale for the Flash too, and I think he turned that down.
yeah, he turned it down.
Yeah, but
Actually, no. What it actually was if they couldn't get Michael Keaton, it was going to be Christian Bale as the Batman that helps Barry. I mean, they were going to ask him to be at. Can you imagine in that Ultimate timeline if it was Christian Bale instead of Michael Keaton?
I don't think it would have worked. Oh, it
No.
didn't work anyway, but like,
No.
It didn't work anyway, but yeah. But all right. So Teladia, where can one find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Teladia Plays _ and on YouTube it's at Teladia Plays. I have got the Spider-Man stream next week. I was going to do it tomorrow on Sunday, but I got appointments and stuff. So I'm planning to do a stream on Tuesday with Jared as we finish off Spider-Man. And then Wednesday is the Super Wonder stream as we cover issue 11, the proper issue this time. So hopefully Jared will send me an image and the title for that episode.
Hey, it's not my fault you read the wrong comic. Actually, yeah, it is. I should have told you this was an annual.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it is my fault.
it was.
It is
It
my
is
fault.
your fault. Yeah, so and on top of that, guys, I will be doing collabs with different content creators like Sil Abdul and Irigen Gamer as we talk about DC games. So stay tuned for that.
JJheat, how about you, my friend?
as for me, my Captain Marvel review, as well as the February 2024 solicitations, hopefully Teladia will be available to collab with me on that. Will be on Sunday,
Yeah.
as well as my manga Boruto Chapter 2 Blue Vortex review. Chapter 4 will be Monday, 7 p.m. EST. Hope that
When
might
are
get.
you reviewing the Knights?
Wait, which the Knights?
Gotham
never.
Knights.
Hey, I never reached 175 to 180.
Let me check this.
So from what I'm seeing,
Let me see. But anyway, so is that it? You're at 174, dude. Someone subscribe to JJheat.
Brand Destroyer or Brit.
Someone
I
subscribe
think
to
they're already
JJheat.
subscribed to me already.
Because what that means is he has to watch the entire Gotham Knights show with us and live react to it.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to watch this with me. That was the agreement.
I'll be there because I won't be reacting to the show. I'll be reacting to your reaction to the show, and that makes it a little more tolerable.
JJheat, check your subscribers.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me refresh the page.
All right. Well, I know what JJheat's doing. It's 176.
Next
Guess
is
what you're doing. Yeah, thank you, Nix. Thank you, Nix. Shout out to Nix. Where's my
I've
evil
said it.
laugh? All right, you
I've
know
said
what?
it
Where is it? Here we go.
You cannot break me. You will try.
Have you
we
seen the
do.
show yet, JJheat?
You will not break me.
Have you seen the
We will.
show?
I've survived Batwoman. You will not break me.
This is worse than Batwoman. You haven't seen hell until you've watched the show.
Trust me, I've seen Gotham Knights episode 1.
I saw 6 episodes.
Oh yeah,
I
you
watched-
did get.
I actively avoided
Captain Marvel for years until you guys dragged me kicking and screaming into watching it.
And by the way, I want
Weird.
credit because guess who was the only one to do their comic reading assignment for that April Fool's stream?
Nick and you.
No, I was the only one. And by the way, I'm instituting consequences this year. If you guys don't do your assigned work, and that includes comic books, I'm going to add an additional thing that you have to react to on your channel.
Fair enough.
So do your freaking homework, boys. So, in terms
And
of
now that I've
Comics League,
officially hit 176, what would be a good time for you guys to watch Gotham
we'll talk
Knights?
about it off stream.
We'll talk it off.
Okay.
stream.
In terms of Comics League, for Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I are reacting to the superpowered documentary for DC because that's basically a love letter to the New 52 and modern DC. So we're all like, so Britt and I were like, because we reference this documentary so many times that we're like, okay, you know what? Let's just cover the damn thing because if we're gonna reference it like every episode, multiple times per episode, we might as well. Next week's Under Two Capes, we're gonna go back and forth and get that. Remember, tomorrow we're talking about Batman Hush, which I can't wait for a rant on that one. And
comic.
both.
The movie.
We'll do both. We'll do both because that way to make it a little more fun. And in terms of and then by the way, the next Saturday is going to be the finale of the DC AMU. Thank God. And then we're going to we're going to do Snyder Miss, which is basically all of Snyder's movies that we haven't covered yet up until Rebel Moon. We'll do a live watch party for Rebel Moon, a watch party and discussion, so we can really have fun with that one. And in terms of Indie Wednesday, screw it, I'll talk about Scott Pilgrim. I read it, might as well talk about it.
Oh,
and
so you're doing a review. We're doing a review both on Comics Watch and on Indie Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least Indie Wednesday, I'm gonna go solo for that one. But in terms of, let me see, I do so many shows. I'm trying to figure out what else do I do. Oh yeah, we also have Justice League rewatch and Avatar rewatch, obviously. And by the way, isn't it kind of funny? You ever have that where you do so many shows on YouTube that you're like, what do I do that I have to plug?
Yeah.
By the way, this week's Justice League rewatch is the finale.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that, Nick. This week's Justice League rewatch discussion is going to be a live stream because it's the finale of season 1. So be sure to show up for that one. It's the time travel episode where we go back and forward in time and a few different characters, including Batman Beyond cameo in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
And also, New Direction is taking a few weeks off, but in terms of the main line, but we might do an Elseworld involving Scion and the DCAMU. So stay tuned for that.
We'll see. But okay. And then Nick, I believe it's your turn. Go ahead. So where can we find you and what have you got coming out on the channel?
All right. So tomorrow we have Batman Arkham Asylum. We're playing that. Join me, Teladia, Jared, and Nix. We'll be venturing deep into the vowels. We are in Gotham Botanical Gardens and we are finding out, can we fix Poison Ivy? So if you're interested in some toxic love, feel free to join us on Monday. We have Avatar Rewatch. We're getting back onto that series. And then Wednesday we got Comics Watch. Like I said, we're doing the first volume of Scott Pilgrim. I was kind of real looking forward to the anime, but they decided to pull bait and switch. So we're just
have you heard about that bait and switch?
Okay, so is this
let me do it.
Nick, tell him.
So in Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the new anime on Netflix.
Okay.
Scott dies in the very first episode, and the rest of the series, Ramona is the star, and she's facing the evil exes, and they literally pulled a Masters of the Universe.
Well, that show's no longer worth watching.
There you go.
Yeah, I was hyped for it. It's
So
yeah.
for Comics Watch, we're just gonna do this.
He's trying to get his money's worth.
Yeah, because you know what? I need an indie book, and I just read this today, so screw it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I don't think you'll be doing the rest of the series, but yeah.
Probably not, but continue on.
So yeah, that's what I got going. I'll actually, if you are in the Michigan area, I will be at Blue Water Comic Con in Port Huron, Michigan tomorrow. So if you want to grab copies of Screecher, Torn Samurai, Project Access, say hi, slap me in the face. You're welcome to. And I also have a special. If you use a password, you know nothing, Jon Snow, to me, you get an extra 10% off on anything on the table.
Sweet.
Hopefully Nick will be able to get past Killer Croc tomorrow on the Arkham stream.
I can't wait to critique that one. And from what Teladia has been telling me, stealth is not your thing.
It's really not.
It isn't. It is.
Wow.
I prefer the more direct approach.
Well, at least you can actually stick to landing, unlike Teladia, who just pancakes.
I mean,
You guys aren't gonna let that up, aren't you?
I mean, like, I did handle those two Titan guys pretty well, Teladia. You got to admit, I handled those people.
No, but Nick, anyone can handle Titan people if they have the training. Stealth is where Batman shines, and if you fail at that, then you fail at being Batman.
Yeah.
Jared, if you don't shut up, I will make you breakfast.
So in any way, stay heroic, everyone, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.